Hey guys, and welcome back to Best Practice TV. I'm Kobe Simmet, I'm the CEO here, and we've been getting lots of questions about what am I reading. And one particular book I wanted to talk to you about today in this episode of What Am I Reading is this particular amazing book, which is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Now, this has been an absolutely fantastic book. I read it in 2016, and then I also, because I really struggled with this particular book, had my first foray into audiobooks, and I did a big driving trip last year, and I downloaded this particular book and I listened to it. It was 26 hours of listening. It was absolutely fantastic and life-changing. And so this particular book's been absolutely fantastic. What it does is it represents 30 years of work in industrial psychology, but industrial psychology in terms of organisations. Why is it relevant to business? It does talk about how you can apply the principles of this book in marketing and branding, and we certainly do that here at Best Practice. We do execute some of this, and it's not to have a negative impact on people. It's just about understanding more what's going on in the mind of our staff and also our customers, and what we can and can't do. It does introduce the concept of two thinking systems, so a fast thinking system and a slow thinking system. The fast system being all of your conversational day-to-day behaviours and habits and activities, and then obviously your slow thinking system, which is where you really have to stop and think about and process something. It shows, they've done some research on the physical behaviours that we display when we're using our slow thinking system versus our fast thinking system. They looked at pupil dilation, they looked at the consumption of glucose in the brain. So for those of you on sugar-free diets, you might like to read this book and really have a think about how the brain operates in terms of what it needs when your brain is really required to be processing on it. You have a particular task on a particular day that your brain really needs to activate. Very stressful environment. Your brain, they describe here that the brain does consume a lot of glucose. So if you haven't got that glucose available, you're not going to be able to think straight. This book explains why that happens to you, and I think it's worth reading. So this is definitely a must read for anybody who has a job, anyone who works, anyone in business, and anyone who's got kids, because it starts to understand how you can have a better insight into the people around you and understand how their brains are working. So if you're a mechanical person, this explains how the brain works. It's obviously part of a larger piece of work, and if you wanted to explore this further, the references in the back of this book and the papers and the research that these guys relied on, that is the science behind what they've documented in this book. So if you're a person that likes science, you want to know how the brain works, you want to be a more effective leader, you want to get more out of your team, more out of people in your life, or just understand how you operate as a human, read this. Absolutely fantastic. It's tough. If you can't read it, download it on Audible. I listened to this book because I couldn't get through it, but now that I've listened to it and I go back and read it, definitely part of a business improvement journey, definitely something we use here at Best Practice. So have a look at our Facebook page, have a look at Instagram, have a look at Snapchat. We've got crazy stuff going on all of those platforms, and we'll see if we can get some articles together for you on LinkedIn, and I will see you soon on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.